Hey guys, I'm Alexmo, and it's been a couple months since Ash finally beat B and ended their rivalry, and it kinda sucked. I mean, it wasn't the worst rival Ash has ever had. We all remember Tobias, but it really wasn't that good, especially for the possibly best Ash Ketchum we've ever had. So today I have to pose the question, what if B wasn't Ash's main rival in Journeys? And I think I have a good idea for who would be a better rival for Ash. And that solution is Iris. Let me explain why I don't like B and why I want Iris to be his rival, and then let's get into the rivalry itself. Hope you enjoy the video, and let's go. So why is B bad? Well, the first reason that comes to mind is that she shouldn't be stronger than Ash. Ash Ketchum right now is a champion tier trainer. There's no denying that. And B is just a gym leader. A strong gym leader, sure, but just a gym leader. Ash really shouldn't be struggling against her, and especially not as Pikachu, who got taken out by her grapple locked. If Ash is going to have a rival that truly challenges him, it should be someone who is the same level of trainer as him. So that's why I think Iris is the perfect fit for a rival for him. They're both champions and are both friends. It just makes sense. Alright, so when would their rivalry start? I picture it starting in about the normal class actually. So somewhere in the normal class, Ash would take a trip to Unova and watch Iris be crowned champion after defeating Alder or whoever. After that, Ash would meet up with Iris and tell her about this brand new challenge, the PWC. Since Iris is interested in a new challenge after becoming champion, she immediately signs up and has her first battle against Ash Ketchum, right in the Champion League Stadium. It's just a 1v1, and it's Pikachu vs Haxorus. Both of them give it their all, being the aces of their teams, and it ends in a tie. I think having the two of their aces battle it out at the beginning is a great way to show them on equal strength. I also want to say that Pikachu and Haxorus will not be fighting again at all in their next battles. While it does make sense as they're both the aces, I want this rivalry to focus on their other Pokemon. And it would feel weird if every single battle ended in Pikachu vs Haxorus. Pikachu and Haxorus can get their own time to shine, being the aces of their teams, so I want to give time to Ash and Iris' other team members. Hopefully that makes sense. Next up is their first Great Class battle, which is going to be happening on Ash's home turf, the Sakuragi Park. I think it would be fun for Iris to travel to Ash this time instead of Ash traveling to Iris. This battle is being structured to pretty much exactly mirror Ash and B's first battle, so I think you'll see some of those similarities in this battle. The first Pokemon battle is Riolu vs Gabite. Ash has a hard time adapting to one of Iris' newer Pokemon that he hasn't really seen battle before, and is having a hard time dealing with it digging all over the place. Due to this, Riolu ends up losing, and Iris decides to swap out Gabite for a quick win without losing any Pokemon. Next up is Dragonite vs Dragonite. They're two titans. And if you remember the actual Ash vs Iris battle that actually happened in the anime, Ash's Dragonite had no shot against Iris' Dragonite. And honestly, the same thing is going to be happening here. They'll be about even while Ash's Dragonite keeps taking damage. And while it gets some help from Iris, it can't come out on top, and loses to the sheer power of Iris' Dragonite. I wanted to make this battle parallel Ash and B's first battle because Ash and B's rivalry does have some good ideas, I just don't like how they were executed. I also used these 4 specific Pokemon because I wanted to set up 2 new rivalries. You'll be seeing all of these Pokemon continue battling in the next couple of battles. Battle 3 will be happening in the same class and sometime after the Darkest Day. I think it'd be fun if this battle happens in Nimbasa Town as a throwback to one of Iris and Ash's best battles. I'm not sure how they would get the arena in Nimbasa Town, but we'll make it work somehow. This battle starts off with Gengar vs Excadrill. Gengar is having a hard time battling Excadrill as it keeps digging underground and Gengar can't land its attacks. That's when Ash thinks up a sneaky strategy using Gengar's abilities. It hops into Excadrill's shadow, and while Excadrill goes underground, Gengar attacks it, defeating the Pokemon while it's still underground. Next up, Iris sends out Garchomp. Gengar is still underground, and I'm sure you guys know that Earthquake is double effective when the Pokemon is underground. Gengar immediately takes the L, and Ash has to recall it. Ash then sends out Lucario. The two of them battle, cementing the rivalry even further, and Ash and Lucario push themselves to even farther limits using their aura abilities to continue dealing damage to Garchomp. However, Garchomp is still very strong, becoming one of Iris' strongest Pokemon now that it's evolved. In the end, it's a tie. Again, I'm sure you can see how this battle mirrors Ash and B's second battle. Also, the reason I decided to include Gengar and Excadrill instead of the Dragonites again is because I don't want to use the same Pokemon 2 battles in a row, and I'll be saving Dragonites for the next battle anyway. I wanted to give Gengar some time to shine since it really never does much, and I thought it'd be cool for it to defeat Excadrill in that interesting way. Alright, so now it's time for their final battle in the Ultra class, a 3 vs 3 in the Opalucid Gym. This would happen right around the same time as Ash and B's final battle, so a good way into the class. The battle starts off with Emolga versus Lucario. Iris immediately uses Volt Switch, showing how much she'll be switching in this 3-on-3 battle, and Emolga switches out. Next up, it's Garchomp versus Lucario, and Garchomp is dealing some good damage, and while Lucario is trying its best, Ash decides it's the best plan to swap out for now. Ash sends out Dracovish, intending to do some big damage with Ice Fang, although he's having a hard time closing the distance. While he can attack a lot from afar, Garchomp is also attacking a lot from afar. While Dracovish tries to get in close using Ice Fang, Iris decides it's the best play to swap out in case it does get close. Iris sends out Emolga, and the two battle for a bit, with Iris eventually using Volt Switch, which defeats Dracovish and swaps out Emolga. Next up, the two Dragonites come out. Both of them know they're at a type disadvantage, but don't decide to swap out. These two Pokemon are rivals, and the two trainers want them to fight it out as hard as they can. Both Pokemon give it their all, and Dragonite, well, Ash's Dragonite, eventually comes out on top. Iris swaps out Emolga, and Dragonite makes sure to keep its distance to stay away from Volt Switch. When Emolga comes in to use Volt Switch, Ash decides to give it its all to defeat Emolga right then and there, using Hyper Beam. This takes out Emolga, but Dragonite is so exhausted after the attack that it faints as well. Finally, it's the finale of Lucario and Garchomp's rivalry. Ash takes out his Mega Stone and evolves Mega Lucario into its Mega form to try and win, although he's surprised when Iris does the same thing with Mega Garchomp. They try their best and in the end are able to defeat the Mega Pokemon with their own Mega Evolution, ending the rivalry and a great battle. I'm glad that the PWC has a precedent for having multiple switches in the 3-on-3 battles because I think this is a great time to use Emolga and its Volt Switch attack. I really wanted to use all of Iris' Pokemon throughout all of these matches, so yeah, I'm glad I got to use Emolga here. Other than that, I think this battle went great, and I'm glad I was able to give Iris a Mega Pokemon to give it a rivalry with Mega Lucario. And that's the rivalry. Personally, I think this would be much better than Ash and B's rivalry, but let me know what you think in the comments. Tell me if you would rewrite this, or even introduce a brand new rival. Other than that, thank you for watching, and hopefully I'll see you in the next video.